Solving quadratic equations. Quadratic equations are those for which the highest power of the variable is 2. If you write the equation in standard form equal to 0, you can picture the solutions to a quadratic equation as the x-intercepts of a parabola. There can be 2, 1, or no x-intercepts, so a quadratic equation may have 2, 1, or no solutions. The first method of solving quadratic equations we will learn is solving by factoring. For this method, the equation must be in standard form and set equal to 0. Factor the equation and use the zero product property to solve. In this example, we'll start by setting the equation equal to 0. Subtract 16 from both sides. X squared minus 7x minus 18 equals 0. To factor, find two numbers that multiply to negative 18 but add to negative 7. These factors are 2 and negative 9. The factored form is x minus 9 times x plus 2 equals 0. By the zero product property of equality, one or both of these factors must equal 0. So write two equations and solve them both. The two solutions are x equals 9 and x equals negative 2. We can picture these solutions as the x-intercepts of a parabola. In this example, once again, we shall start by making the right side 0. Start by subtracting x squared from both sides. Now add 5 to both sides. We get 6x squared plus 13x plus 5 equals 0. To factor this, we need to multiply 6 times 5, which gets us 30. We need two numbers that multiply to 30 but add to 13. These are 3 and 10. Now write four terms: 6x squared plus 3x plus 10x plus 5 equals 0. Factor by grouping. The greatest common factor on the left side is 3x. For 3x times 2x plus 1. Copy the 2x plus 1 to the right. The greatest common factor on the right is 5. The factored form is 2x plus 1 times 3x plus 5 equals 0. Use the zero product property and write two equations. 2x plus 1 equals 0. Solve this equation. X equals negative 1/2. The second equation is 3x plus 5 equals 0. Solve this equation for x equals negative 5/3. The two solutions then are x equals negative 1/2 and x equals negative 5/3. You can picture these as the x-intercepts of a parabola, but this would have been quite difficult to solve by graphing since both x-intercepts are fractions. Pause the video and try this example yourself. Now that you have tried it, check your work. First, make the right side 0. Now factor the equation. The two factors in this case are the same, so it is only necessary to write one equation, and there is only one solution, x equals negative 5. This solution can be pictured as the vertex of a parabola. Pause the video and try the next example yourself. Now that you have tried it, check your work. First, make the right side of the equation 0. Subtract 3x squared from both sides. Subtract 4x from both sides. 6x squared minus 8x minus 30 equals 0. In this case, there's a greatest common factor, which is 2. 2 times 3x squared minus 4x minus 15 equals 0. Now factor the inner trinomial. 3 times negative 15 is negative 45. Two numbers that multiply to negative 45 but add to negative 4 are 5 and negative 9. Remember to have the 2 on the final answer. Write 4 terms to replace the trinomial. 3x squared plus 5x minus 9x minus 15 equals 0. Factor both sides. The factored form is 2 times 3x plus 5 times x minus 3. Write 2 equations and solve them. 3x plus 5 equals 0, yields x equals negative 5/3, and x minus 3 equals 0, yields x equals 3. 2 solutions are negative 5/3 and 3. Imagine these as the x-intercepts of a parabola. Now pause the video again and try the last example yourself. Now that you have tried it, check your work. Once again, make the right side of the equation 0. Thus we have negative 35x squared plus 5x equals 0. Factor out the greatest common factor. For negative 5x times 7x minus 1 equals 0. Write 2 equations. Negative 5x equals 0 and 7x minus 1 equals 0. The 2 solutions are x equals 0 and x equals 1/7. Please remember to refer back to these notes as you complete your homework.